All right, hi everyone. Welcome to Optimizing BIM360 with BIMrx Cloud Manager. Before we get started, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your GoToWebinar control panel, not into the chat panel, please. Also, a recorded version of this webinar will be available on our website and on YouTube channel within a couple of days. You'll receive an email with a link when it's available. Before we jump into the webinar, I'm going to introduce Microdesk and myself, and then we'll get into the BIMrx Cloud Manager. Microdesk was founded in 1994 as an Autodesk reseller with a simple mission to assist architects, engineers, construction contractors, operators, owners, and GIS firms with improving their workflow and integrating project delivery technologies. 25 years later, and that mission still holds true. Microdesk is a well-established AECO consulting firm with over 13 offices in the US and UK. We have over 230 AECO consultants, solution specialists, and software developers that can help in all sectors, all disciplines, and at all stages. Some of the hottest topics in the AECO world are globalization, urbanization, and sustainability. Urbanization studies suggest that the US will build 114 cities the size of Boston in the next 30 years. Here at Microdesk, we can help to make sure you're prepared to meet these demands as we use software from industry leaders and combine it with our vision and passion for sustainability to meet the demands of urbanization. Our team of industry expert consultants are redefining project delivery and asset management. We're committed to helping clients realize the business benefits of BIM quickly and economically by facilitating the use of innovative technologies and processes. Whether it's streamlining your design, construction, or operations, our consulting team is the nation's largest and most experienced group of AECO technology consulting professionals. Microdesk clients represent some of the nation's largest and most respected organizations and public agencies, including the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, Denver Airport, Robert A. Stern, and Columbia University, among many others.
To help support the industry with these demands of globalization, sustainability, and urbanizations, we provide full service consulting. This includes building information modeling services, enterprise strategy and workflow assessment, technology management, mentoring and support, application development, and much, much more. We partner with world leaders such as Autodesk and IBM to utilize innovative technologies and methodologies to empower sustainable design and overcome local challenges. Our vision is to reduce the environmental impact of urbanization and help the AECO industry to design, construct, and operate better projects more efficiently by leveraging the full potential of BIM, VDC, and asset management. So let me introduce myself. My name is Brendan Gregory. I'm a project manager at Microdesk, and I use BIMrx Cloud Manager on all of my projects on a daily basis. I've worked on some awesome projects with Microdesk for major electrical contractor clients. Here are a few of my recent projects, notably New York City MTA East Side Access Project, as well as others in mass transit, data centers, hospitals, higher education, airport projects, and many others. And all of them using BIM360 and Revit. So today, our learning objectives are focused on how the work from home digital transformation is affecting your productivity, how to become more efficient administrating BIM360 projects, how to create BIM360 projects in bulk and add multiple users to multiple projects, how you can have more intelligent control over uploading and archiving entire project folder structures from BIM360, and how you can track submissions or deliverables on BIM360 better. So design and construction firms are moving to Autodesk BIM360 Cloud document management to improve speed, access, security, and transparency for distributed project teams, especially now that many of us are working from home. With the increased efficiency of using cloud collaboration platform built for the AECO industry, we now also have additional data management challenges. Creating projects and managing users is very time consuming in BIM360's website, especially for multiple projects. The BIMrx Cloud Manager is a simple and powerful tool for managing and automating common tedious BIM360 tasks. So our agenda for this session will be an overview of the BIMrx platform. We'll talk about BIMrx Cloud Manager features. I will do a live demo, and then we will talk about the advantages of the BIMrx Cloud Manager. So the BIMrx product suite is comprised of a number of different components. These are Revit add-ins with the exception of BIMrx Cloud Manager, which is a standalone desktop application. So we will be focusing on BIMrx Cloud Manager, but I also wanted to highlight the excellent tools that we have available as plugins in Revit for increasing your modeling efficiency and project setup. Also pushing data in and out of Revit to Excel using Core, helping MEP teams model better in 3D. Also fabrication tools that allow the fabrication spooling process and hangers and all and that type of stuff with the BIMrx fabrication module, and then also improve project setup and management in Revit with BIMrx Project. But today we'll be talking about BIMrx Cloud Manager, which is a desktop application which is focused on enterprise administration for BIM360. So let's go over the features of BIMrx Cloud Manager. It's the fastest way to create one or many BIM360 projects, sync folders or files to BIM360 projects, add multiple users to multiple projects at the same time, track deliverables, publish cloud Revit models, and download whole projects for archive. And then you can automate daily, weekly, or monthly BIM360 design collaboration, initialize Revit models, as well as scheduling upload syncs and download archives. All right, we're going to jump into the BIMrx Cloud Manager live demo now. So I'm going to open up the Cloud Manager and you can see what the application looks like. With the latest release here, we have the ability to save multiple connections. So I have two different BIM360 hubs saved in here, and I can quickly switch between those two hubs and connect to those hubs to perform the administrative tasks I need to on any particular hub that I have saved in here. All right, so the first thing I want to show you is under the Projects tab. I want to show you how we can quickly create BIM360 projects. So this workflow is an Excel-based workflow. So I have an Excel template here, and I'm simply going to create another project and show you how quick and easy that is. Maybe I want to copy some of this information. Maybe it's another building at the same site as this project, but it has its own BIM360 project. I'm able to just copy that information in here. Note that there are drop downs for all of the columns here. So we are able to fill out the information very efficiently without any errors. It's always going to not have any typing errors because we are able to select from the drop down here. I do want to note that at the end here of the Excel sheet, we also have a file path, and we can map that to a local file location, a network location, anywhere that this computer can access. and we can utilize that in the next part, which is syncing files up to BIM360 projects. But I'm going to set that now in here. I'm going to go ahead and save this Excel file. It's saved, and close it. I'm going to now load this Excel file. And there's that project that I added to the list. I'm going to check that box and simply check this. And it's going to go ahead and create this BIM360 project on the hub for me. And it took just a matter of seconds there. I'm going to take a look at the log and show you how quick that was. It took 5 seconds to create that project. As you can see, it's extremely efficient for creating one project at a time or creating hundreds of projects at a time. So we use this tool to create 400, 500 projects during a migration or on a daily and weekly basis, setting up a couple projects. It's just an amazing tool for quickly creating projects. All right, we're going to jump to the next tab, which is the Files tab. The Files tab, I'm able to sync files from my machine up to BIM360 projects. So I haven't copied the folder structure in here, but I'm going to show you a project where I have. Let me find it here. There we go. Okay, so I have a folder structure locally on my machine, and this is what we're seeing in this column here. And then if I were to click this button here, it's going to send all the folders and files up to the BIM360 project. So I can map this to a network location of where maybe the project is currently existing on a SharePoint site or locally on my computer or on a network drive. And then it's going to upload all of the folders and files to the BIM360 project. Now, the initial time it's going to bring everything. If I were to do it again, it's going to sync only new or changed files. So it's an intelligent process. It checks to see if the file has changed. And if it is different or new, it will upload it as a new version on BIM360. Now, this is a notable improvement over using the desktop connector or the website, because if you were to drag a whole folder structure on the desktop connector, it would make a version of every single file that you dropped. It's not going to check to see if there's a difference between the files. It would just upload everything. So this makes updating your projects much more efficient and intelligent. We also use this Files tab here to do something we call hybrid browsing. So I'm going to click the button here, and it's going to pull the list of information that is on the BIM360 project, and you can actually see the Revit file and the versions of it, and when it was saved and when and by who. And you can see AutoCAD DWGs as well. So we call this hybrid browsing. You're able to compare what you have on your cloud to your folder structure that you have locally or on a network drive. So very powerful. I do want to note that you can select multiple projects at the same time and have them all sync at the same time. So it really makes it more efficient than the website or the desktop connector, because you now have the ability to send files from different folders, so they can have different information for each project up to BIM360 in a much more efficient manner. So you could map each of these projects to their network location and then pull the documents specific to each of those up to the cloud. So really powerful tool. All right, now on to my favorite part. Before we go there, I noticed that there was a question. I normally wait to the end for those, but I'm gonna jump on that because this one actually relates to what we were just talking about in the Files tab. So can BIMrx Cloud Manager connect existing projects? For example, if the contract type is wrong, can it update the field to the correct project? So on the projects tab here, this is static during the creation of the project. So if you need to modify the entries after the project is created, you would go to the BIM360 website and then modify, for example, the contract type. Another thing that this makes me think of is if you already have existing projects on BIM360, I'll show you how on the Browse tab, we can also utilize the features of the Cloud Manager for projects that were already created on BIM360 before you started using Cloud Manager. So don't worry, those projects are still going to be able to take advantage of the files, users, and other tools that I'm about to show. Hope that answered the question. All right, now on to my favorite and probably most commonly used part of the BIMrx Cloud Manager, which is the Users tab. So the Users tab is the fastest way to add multiple users to multiple projects at the same time. So what I can do is I can click the button here. It's going to populate all the projects on the hub, and I can click here and it's going to pull the member directory list from BIM360 Hub, and it's got all of the users from the BIM360 Hub. And then I can go ahead and quickly, if I have multi-select on, I can select multiple projects, and I have the ability to selectively choose which ones I want, and then I can select it. I'm just kind of randomly selecting a number of people here, but if I had a list of people I needed to add, maybe they're new hires, I need to get them on to 10 projects in one go. I check their names and then I simply press this button over here, and it's going to add those users to all those projects. It's really that simple. Now, if we're administrating one project in specific, we also have the ability to add these users with a specific company and assign those users a particular role. So we would want to add all of the, the BIM manager maybe by themselves at first, and then we would go and add the drafters or designers or engineers or architects in a second batch. Now this takes about like 2 or 3 seconds to process. It's really fast. It's very quick to add a lot of users to a lot of projects and also set the company and the role very, very easily. I absolutely love this part of BIMrx Cloud Manager. We're getting a lot of good questions. There's so many coming in. I'm going to hold them to the end. I'll go through all of them at the end, but I'm just going to hold those until the end there. Let's keep on going onto the Browse tab. Okay, so on the Browse tab, I'm able to look at all my projects on the BIM360 hub. Now, there's several things we can do on the Browse tab. If I have multi-select off, we'll start there. I can select a project. Let me do one of our example projects for this. So I can do an example project here. And, oh, sorry, it's this one. Example project here, and it's going to pull all the information from the BIM360 website. And notice that I have show files off. I'm just getting the folder structure. So first of all, I could download the folder structure and the folder information to Excel, or I could download the folders themselves to your computer. You can download the folders. Now, if I turn on show files, I'll be able to download the folders and files, and I'll also be able to export the folders and files to BIM360. So this is how we go about doing deliverable tracking, submission tracking. We turn show files on, we export the Excel file, and then I'll show you on a PowerPoint slide what the report looks like that we create. So I'll show you that in a second. Another thing is that we can publish Revit models directly from this interface. So I could click on this and it would publish the latest for this Revit model. Now, if I turn multi-select on, I can select multiple projects here. And then so say these are existing projects, I can then add these existing projects to the Files tab, so that if the project was created on BIM360 prior to you using BIMrx Cloud Manager, that's not a problem. We just select the projects we want to send to the Files tab, and then we click this button here. And that will get them on the Files tab. All right, I do want to show you the report that I was talking about. So when we export to Excel, we get the file path, the file name, the version, who it was last updated by, that's currently hidden, and then timestamp and due date. Timestamp. We added the due date and the status, and what that does is it allows us to create a report in Excel to quickly and visually show, what's on schedule, what's behind. And let me tell you a little bit of history about where this feature came from. So we had a project with 20 different buildings and 15 different BIM360 projects, and it was just so time consuming on the BIM360 website to go to each folder, each submission folder on the days that we were expecting models to be published and PDFs and DWGs to be submitted, and go to each project and check the status of that, especially as they continued to come in. So what we did here is we created a way to quickly export either a folder or a whole project's information to Excel. And then we would do that for all the different projects, and then quickly compile a report in Excel. So it really streamlined the process of managing multiple projects, deadlines simultaneously. All right, I do want to jump back into BIMrx Cloud Manager, and I want to show you one of the pro features that we have with BIMrx Cloud Manager Pro. So on the Jobs tab here, we have the ability to schedule daily, weekly, or monthly tasks. And we call those jobs. We can upload, download, or publish. So the upload is the sync feature that we have on the Files tab. The download is the archive function that we have on the Browse tab, and the publish is publishing Cloud Revit models. Now this is really easy to do. I can go ahead and quickly show you how to create a job and explain a little bit in more detail how that works. So what we're going to do is click on the plus sign here to create a new job, and the job name is going to be, we're going to do a download. So we're going to do archive weekly. So I have a really active project and I want to keep a backup of it weekly, and it's going to archive all the folders and files on that project. I want it to pull the plans folder. Maybe this is a VDC project where we're issuing plans to the field. We have that latest set in the plans folder, and also all of the project files. So I typically write the job name in here, so like what the project name is. It helps me identify it on the list on the left there. But I'm just going to put generic project name in there. So this is going to be a daily download, and then I'm going to go ahead and filter our list. If I were to just press this button, it's going to pull all of the projects on the BIM360 hub that we have here, so 351. I don't want to back up all of those right now. I'm just going to do a BIMrx, and it's going to find me all of the projects with BIMrx. So I could, with this, just leave it as BIMrx, and then it would back up all 56 BIMrx projects. But I'm going to be more specific here, and I'm going to type demo 03. Demo 03, and then it's going to pull all of the projects that have the word demo or 03 in it. Then I can select the archive location, and that's good. It's going to go to the BIMrx folder. Let me type out, I want to just grab one project, BIMrx BIMrx Cloud Manager. Oop, I lost my selection. All right, so I'm going to grab all 9 here with that selection, and I'm going to put in an email address, and I'm going to hit next, and then I'm going to have this process on Fridays at 11 p.m. So I don't need to be around to do this, but it's going to be scheduled and it's going to get taken care of automatically. And I hit finish, save. Now here it is, my archived weekly project name, and then I simply deploy it to the task manager, and I want to point out that we could send it to a network server so that my computer doesn't have to be on when this job is going to run. I can set up a network server that I could send this job to, and then that server would be on all the time, so it could then process that job at 11 o'clock, and I don't need to be working at that time. But for the example, I'm going to just send it to my local machine, and I'm going to add it. And there we go. It's successfully added that task to the scheduler. Now it's going to go ahead and run it on the scheduled time and date that we specified, and it will repeat on that interval that we gave it. So that's just an example for download. You could also do this for upload. You could do it for publishing Revit models. Extremely powerful. And it looks like the filter just took a second to process. It did only grab that one project that I was looking for because I filtered it down to the exact name. All right, so that's the Jobs tab. I'm going to go and back to the PowerPoint here, and we're going to talk about the advantages of using BIMrx Cloud Manager, and we'll start with the manual inefficiencies of Autodesk BIM360 environment. So manual project creation takes very long. There's like 15 different data entries you have to do for each project, and you can't do multiple projects at the same time. It's a slow process without the BIMrx Cloud Manager. It's all manual uploading of project content to BIM360. You got to use the website or the desktop connector, and you can only do one project at a time. BIMrx Cloud Manager is able to do that with multiple projects simultaneously. And then adding users is an inefficient process over multiple projects for BIM360. You have to do one project at a time. You can add multiple users to one project at a time, but it's only one project at a time. If you need to add one user to multiple projects, it's a very, very inefficient process. And BIMrx Cloud Manager solves that. And the manual data publishing uploads, there's no automation except on design. You can do a weekly publish. That's about it. So we have the ability to do with the pro features of the Jobs tab. We're able to schedule daily publishing, uploading, archiving if necessary, or weekly. It could be a couple of different days of the week because you can check those boxes for different days, or you could schedule, a monthly backup of things with that Pro tab. So just to go over it one last time, BIMrx Cloud Manager is the fastest way to create one or many projects on BIM360, sync folders or files to BIM360 projects, add multiple users to multiple projects at the same time, as well as scheduling publishing of cloud initialized Revit models, or uploading, syncing files to BIM360 projects, and also automating a scheduled archive or download of project data. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the time savings that we're seeing. These are real numbers that we've recorded the time it took to create 10 projects, and then we recorded the time it took us to create 10 projects, and that includes filling out the Excel template sheet. And then we extrapolated out the time savings from there. So just to note, if you were going to create 250 projects on BIM360 website, theoretically it could take 9 hours. However, none of us are robot in that sense. We would need to eat and go to the bathroom and have a break. So it's not necessarily a realistic expectation to do 250 projects in 9 hours, but I think you could do 250 projects in 2 hours during a single workday with the BIMrx Cloud Manager. So it's a roughly 4 times faster to use the Cloud Manager when creating projects. That's if you're doing 1, 10, or 250. And that time savings really adds up. Now the adding users to projects is really where Cloud Manager is the fastest way to do it. So if we look at 10 projects, 12 minutes and 30 seconds, whereas 10 projects. So let me clarify here. We're adding 10 users to 10 projects. So that would take 12 minutes to do that on Cloud. It would take 12 minutes and 30 seconds to do it on BIMrx. On BIM360's website, because you have to go to each project individually and then go to the next project. Whereas in Cloud Manager, we can simply select all the projects at the same time and all the users and then send them to those projects. So this is a lot faster. We're talking like 25 times faster. That time savings really adds up if you're an administrator or a project admin. Any project admin would really appreciate the speed that this can administrate their project. Now I want to talk about daily publishing. So to do that in Revit, you need to open Revit, and 10 projects, that's going to take a decent amount of time to get in there and publish things. If you're in the latest versions of Revit, there's a little bit more of an efficient way to do it. With the BIM360 interface that's now available in the latest versions of Revit. But if you're in 2019 or 2018 project, it really does take a long time to get into each project and publish. The Pro feature in Cloud Manager really makes this infinitely times faster. It's because you set it up, you schedule it, and then it just runs automatically in the background. You don't even need to be working those hours. And I also want to highlight that the publishing, when you publish a Revit model to BIM360 document management, it has to process it. So if anybody was in that model viewing it on the website when there was a publish being made, they're going to not be able to open that BIM360 viewer of the 3D model and 2D sheets to make issues, markups, and view the models or sheets. So we want to schedule these publishes in off business hours, overnight, when no one's trying to use the BIM360 website. So the pro features of Cloud Manager are just really awesome at helping that. All right. I want to turn to questions now. Before we go into questions, I just want to thank you for your attention, and I really appreciate everybody we're getting a lot of questions in the box, so I'm going to try and go through all of them. If you guys want to stick around, I'll get through them all. So that's our contact information in case anybody needs to reach out. And the video recording will be available on YouTube or on our website in the future. So thank you very much for your attention, and now I'm going to jump back to the questions section. Okay, so the first the second question here is, can the BIMrx Cloud Manager fix fields? If a person is assigned to the wrong company, can we edit it, fix it here? So the current release of BIMrx Cloud Manager, that is not an option, but that is on the roadmap to be something that we can do, update the company and role of a user on a per project basis. So yes, that is something that is coming soon. I have another question. Can you create user groups? There isn't a feature in BIM360 for user groups, but I mean, there's roles, which is kind of like a user group, but it's a more permission and service based. I guess what maybe the question is asking is, can you create groups in BIMrx Cloud Manager? And it is a good idea, but it's not something that's currently built into the BIMrx Cloud Manager platform. It's something that we'd absolutely consider putting on the roadmap. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but BIMrx Cloud Manager is programmed in-house by our application development team, and we're working with many of our clients to improve or provide additional features that they want. So we're always listening to what you guys could use most, what could make you most efficient managing BIM360 projects, and making sure that we can help you do that with this. All right, next question is, when you use file copy to cloud, does it actually collaborate the Revit models to the cloud project? Okay, that's a great question. So what it would do is it would send the .rvt, so the Revit file, to BIM360 in that particular folder, but then you would need to go to Revit and open up that Revit file in that location and then cloud initialize the model. So the answer is no, it does not cloud initialize the Revit model. When you upload it automatically, you need to manually do that in Revit. But because it doesn't do that, you can push, all of your Revit models up there without worrying about them all becoming cloud initialized models. All right, next question here. So this is a good question here. Some of us have been using BIM360 for years, and now cleanup is priority number one. Yeah, that's a great point. So I'd be happy to listen to any comments or suggestions on how we could help optimize your cleanup process. I'm going to just make sure it's clear that BIMrx Cloud Manager is really focused on the setup and adding of users, and then getting information out as far as archiving, saving a snapshot of what's on BIM360, as well as exporting the current information of the project's files and folders to Excel, so you can do some reporting. But it currently doesn't focus on the cleanup process, but that's an excellent point that you bring up that we could possibly help everyone out with in the future. All right, next question here. Can you create a job to weekly create a detached set of specific models that are downloaded to a local server? So I'll start with that part of the question, and the answer is yes. You can have it. So in the sense of detaching, it wouldn't actually go into Revit and say save as a detached, but it would save a snapshot of that Revit file, which then you could transmit to somebody else, and they would be able to open it and save it as a detached model. The second part of the question is, and create an additional job that uploads and overwrites the models in BIM360 folder. So the step between downloading and uploading isn't automated at this point. So if you were to download a snapshot of that Revit model to a local server, and then you were to move it to the folder location of the upload path that you had set for that that project, or go into that project and change the path that it's gonna upload from. That would actually make more sense, I guess. You could then upload those models you just downloaded to that BIM360 project. So there is a manual step in there, but yes, you can do that workflow. You just have to do one manual step there in between. All right, next question here. Can BIMrx copy project data between two different company hubs? That's an excellent question. Unfortunately, it does not do that at this time automatically, like cloud to cloud. However, the workflow that I just kind of talked about there is I could, with the BIMrx Cloud Manager, I guess it's kind of the same answer as before. It's one manual step in between. I would be able to go to the different hubs, because I could have different hubs saved into the Cloud Manager. I could go into the first hub, I could download the files or the whole project that I wanted, everything, the plans folder and project files, download that to an archive on my local machine or network location, and then switch hubs, and then path that project on the other hub to a location where I would, either move or just direct it to that same folder that I downloaded it from. You can do that. You can leave it in the archive folder and map it to the project in the archive folder, and then you could sync that download directly up to the new hub. So it is like a one-step manual in between the download and the upload. But BIMrx Cloud Manager would make that process a lot easier than doing it, on the website or with the desktop connector. All right, next question here. Will this work with the new Autodesk Docs due out in February 2020? Oh, great question. Okay, so this is built on the API for the current Docs platform, and I'm actually wondering the same thing from our development team right now. So I have the same question for our development team, and we'll get back to you on whether it's the same API or if there's some planning that's already been done that I just don't know about, to make it transition over to the new Docs platform that is coming out in the next year. So we'll get back to you on the status of that. All right, next question here. Inside BIMrx admin, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to understand the question here. Oh, okay. I think I understand what this is asking. So I believe that the question was asking, can you use BIMrx to add users to a team? And I think when you say team, you make me think of BIM360 design. So your teams could be controlled by the company name. So if we add users to a particular company, and we have the team by company, that would kind of automate that process there. All right, next question here. Clean up duplicate companies, for example. Glad to hear it's on the roadmap. Okay, yeah. Yeah, cleanup is something that we want to help with, but the product currently doesn't do that. So I just want you to know that. All right, are there any other questions? I'm happy to hang on and answer more questions. I think we got through all of them. Let me scroll down. Okay, we're getting a number of questions about where can you find out more information about BIMrx Cloud Manager? Where can you get pricing information and such? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the chat here. It's going to take you to the website with all of that information. It's just going to be the most efficient way for me to share that with you. So let me just copy and paste that into the chat. You guys can just hold on for a second. I'll get that in there. Okay, so the website address is www.microdesk.com/BIM, so BIMrx, and then it's a dash cloud manager dash manager. Or sorry, cloud dash manager. Let me say that one more time to be clear. It's www.microdesk.com/BIMrx dash cloud dash manager, and I put that in the chat for everyone. I'll hang on for another minute here. I see some more questions coming in. Let me just give everybody a second to get their questions answered. And here's the website. So www.microdesk.com/BIMrx Cloud Manager. Okay, more questions here. There's a question about AIA registration. I'm not aware if this is a AIA session for continuing education credits. If it is, we'll follow up with you and give you the information on that. I'll have to check with the marketing department if this was registered as an AIA session or not. All right, that seems to be all the questions. If there's anything else, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'd be happy to assist you with any of your questions or concerns. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you, guys.